By early July, Geske and Hardick had converged both of their armies into Hartford, Connecticut. The engineers reported to them that it will take at least a few weeks to make a pontoon bridge across the Connecticut River, as the previous bridge had been blown up by the retreating rebels. They must build quickly, as there is still a rebel naval presence sailing up and down the Connecticut River, which may ruin their plans. Once they cross, they will move east through Smithfield and towards Boston, and on the way hopefully link up with 3 sloops that have been dispatched from the Boston blockade. The British Army has been split into 2 separate brigades. The 1st Brigade, underneath General Hardick, contains 2 regiments of foot, the 44th and the 4th, totaling about 680 men. The 2nd Brigade, underneath General Geske, contains 3 regiments, 1st Regiment being the 60th Regiment of Foot, the 33rd Regiment of Foot, and an Hessian contingent, along with 8 guns and 32 men. Together, these forces combined make almost 1,500 men, a truly sizable force which they intend to march on Boston with. Meanwhile, American forces have finally converged at Boston. Schwantz's army has become exhausted from the tireless marching and decides to stay 2 weeks in Boston to rest and recoup his forces. Schwantz also decides to leave General Attuck with his militia contingent at the fort overlooking Boston. Late July showed little movement for both armies. The British do send a single cavalry troop from Fort Lightfoot to guard the Green Mountain Pass, while the Americans continue to rest in Boston. However, the most interesting part of the month would be from the British on the political front.
What are the sympathies of the mayor of Hartford?
The mayor of Hartford?
Yeah, does he have any sympathies?
Are you wanting a meeting with him?
Sure, why not? I'd like to gauge his stake in the war.
Okay. Next turn, we'll talk to him.
I'll take him and my staff.
You guys will have dinner in City Hall?
Yep, sounds good to me.
All right.
I'd like one company of grenadier, or one platoon of grenadiers to accompany me as well.
Oh.
The tallest and best looking.
Okay. Sounds good, man.
By early August, the Americans had begun moving again. Schwantz sent multiple scouting parties across Massachusetts to locate British forces. He would take 2 regiments and 8 guns with him to Worcester, leaving Attuck in Boston. Finally, a message was received. General Manfurter reported that he had crossed the Green Mountains and made it to the Hudson. The only issue now was finding a way to cross the mighty river.
Your chief engineer reports that this river, with how many men that you have and the size of the river, is going to take you 5 turns to cross.
5 turns to cross?
5 turns.
Anything I can do to speed that up?
So instead of, what you can do is you can start to requisition, go up and down the river and possibly steal boats from fishermen.
Okay.
Because I don't remember General Schwantz here giving you money to pay for boats or anything.
No.
So, or you could take from your own men's pay to attempt to get these boats. But your only other choice to make it quicker is to just acquisition these boats. Or sit and wait to build to build boats or a pontoon bridge.
Is there any way I can, I guess still acquisitioning, but basically like persuade so I don't really like make a super negative impact?
Okay, go ahead. I'm a fisherman. Go ahead and try and persuade me.
So, give us these boats. I will pay you once we have crossed and taken Montreal. I will give you the location where we're at. And
Oh, so you're gonna go take Montreal?
maybe
It's cool. It's pretty cool, man. How much would I be getting back for my boat?
how much would you want?
Man, this boat is my grandpappy's. 20 coin.
Meanwhile, our British commanders were enjoying a nice meal with the mayor of Hartford, Loch Blackness.
Alright, so you've come to the meeting with your chief engineer from Quebec.
Oh, Major DeForge?
Yeah,
No, he's my aide de camp.
Or your aide de camp, yeah.
What's that?
So you
my advisor, second in command.
So you have arrived at the mayor's city hall. Alright, you're sitting with. Is there anything specific you'd like to discuss, or do you just want to eat and drink?
I just want to ensure that, when we leave Hartford, the sympathies won't change, and that Hartford can be counted upon to remain loyal to the crown, and they'll dispatch information to the nearest British Army regiment, command, whatever, as to the nature of patriot activities in the area if it comes to their doorstep. So I just want, put it bluntly, I want the mayor to tell me if rebels get near him, I want him to send word either New York City, where there's probably some British officers there, or to my command directly, letting me know if they're moving through his area.
Okay, remember, you two are the only command in New England right now.
Right, okay.
So, but he says, of course, he's loyal to the king. After all, the rebels did blow up his bridge.
Which we are now repairing. I mean, I don't know if he's familiar with the tune British Grenadiers, but at the end of the song it talks about Grenadiers coming out and rebuilding. And what do you know? I have 50 of my tallest men in here right now, chilling out.
He blushes. He's like, they are tall.
Blushes. He's a. I notice you're not married, Mayor, so I understand what you're putting down.
Okay, so you finish this illustrious dinner with the mayor and you exit Hartford. It's nighttime. Okay, the lanterns of the city are glowing bright, they're kind of flickering on and off. In the distance, under the moonlight, you can see your men working feverishly on this river, trying to get this pontoon bridge built as quick as possible. The bridge will be complete next term.
Okay. If the good folk of Providence, Rhode Island, know if there's any troops in that forested area to the west of their city.
You may roll, but don't look.
Yeah, you can't look at the roll.
Oh, okay.
You get a message back from the people of Providence saying that they don't talk to lobsterbacks.
They don't talk to lobsterbacks?
Damn, you fucked up, dude. What'd you do to them?
They just probably have continental sympathies. So the citizenry of Providence doesn't talk to lobsterbacks?
Who's the mayor?
Yeah, for real.
Hang them.
Because we're about.
We'll have a discussion with them when we march through Providence. We might make a detour specifically for them.
If we can't.
In late August, British forces began to move east. Their plan was to seize all of Rhode Island and continue the march until Boston. American forces, meanwhile, were moving westwards towards Hadley to ascertain possible British positions there, with a small cavalry detachment sent south. As of now, both sides are essentially unaware of where the other is, but that is about to change. A lone fisherman would approach the British with some interesting information.
Give us this false information,
Yeah,
getting us into a trap.
He came here to save his own ass because he knows we were going to find it out anyway. Hang him.
One day in the stocks.
One.
Okay, you throw him in the stocks.
And I want it to be, this is going to be, he's going to be in the stocks in Saratoga, so send him back to his home city.
Okay. I like it.
I would like to know which one of them were accurate, so I'd like to roll.
Which one are more believable?
Yeah.
I guess.
None of them are.
That will be
The boat one is a little bit.
That will be your intelligence and special move roll for this.
I don't have anything else to really roll for. You want to roll for it? Just can't look.
All right. So out of the two, the one that seems the most believable is the one where they head towards Montreal.
No way. How did they get across the river? This is me fuming.
Dude, if this is all false information, who cares?
I know, but it's just me fuming in my office. Or in my baggage train with my staff. 999! Alright, I would like a dispatch to be sent to those dragoons. Head north.
To what dragoons?
The dragoons are in that mountain pass. Telling them, given the new information we have, pass along the entirety of what I was just told. Because if that's patron information, and it's true, and it falls in their hands, I want them to know that I know. And if not, then who cares? So tell the dragoons to start heading north to Saratoga, and then as far north of Montreal as they can get, and see if they see any rebels there.
At the beginning of September, British forces began moving out of Rhode Island. Geske would send a small cavalry detachment to catch the rumor to the north. Meanwhile, Schwanz received two interesting bits of information. One, his cavalry ran to a British contingent near Smithfield, and two, that a Native American detachment of 25 warriors had joined Manforter's move to Montreal. British forces were closing in on the last city before Boston, Plymouth, by late September. They originally planned to march straight to Boston, but worried by rebel cavalry screening their movements and a fort on the southern side of Boston in their way, the British decided to move into the forestry to screen their movements to the west. The Americans were moving as well. General Schwantz, after receiving reports that it would take almost a month to ferry the whole army across the Connecticut River, decided to send only half his force across the river into Hadley. General Schwantz would lead the other half of his force, 4 guns and 340 men of the 7th Pennsylvania, back to Worcester. Schwantz was worried about the reports his scouts had given him of a British contingent to the east near Plymouth, but he wasn't quite sure the size of it. At the same time, Schwantz would order all the remaining cavalry in Massachusetts to converge on his position, west of the woods. Once Schwantz arrived in Worcester, he would deploy his army south, to the heights overlooking the city and the river. He would decide to dig in here, awaiting reports of any other British movements. During the end of September, the Americans were trying feverishly to get more intelligence on British dispositions. Schwantz could just not handle the fact that he did not know where they were.
I'd like to roll for intelligence.
Yes, sir. Where at? And what do you want to know?
Obviously the Providence, Smithfield, Worcester, Plymouth triangle.
I'm sorry. You need to give me a little bit more of an exact area.
Pretty much that
I want the Boston, New York, Hartford area.
Where you going with the map?
I'd like to know how many regiments are around that pass through Hartford.
How many regiments have passed through Hartford? Okay, go ahead.
So, Seagal. There you go.
All right, sir. So, you receive a letter from the mayor of Hartford. And the mayor says, "Damn the rebellion, God live the king."
I feel like hanging.
You do receive, though, from a downtrodden stable boy. Downtrodden stable boy looks at one of your informants and tells him that he did see a lot come through. That's all he can tell you. He can tell you that it is more than what isn't happening.
And they were all heading east.
He says he uses like a little 8-9-year-old boy, but he thinks we've never seen them all cross that Pontoon Bridge.
In early October, British forces continued to move west towards Worcester in order to seize the heights south of the town. Both sides were still unaware of each other's dispositions, but that was about to change.
Rebels.
Where you want to come out of? Or you want to come out here on this high ground?
Is that high ground?
That is.
Yeah, I think we should watch over Worcester. We can put our. Do we have cannons with us?
We have 2 batteries, 4 cannons each.
I think the high ground would be better.
Yeah, at the very least, you could probably look into Worcester and then reevaluate.
Look into Worcester first?
Yeah, from like up top.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, and then if, depending on what the situation there is, march back north and then east into Boston.
Yeah.
Or God forbid, march all the way to Lancaster and then down southeast into Boston to avoid that fort a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. Do me a favor. You exit the tree line. I need you to bring the American commanders in.
God forbid. Am I marching into a battle here?
I need you to bring the American commanders in. So yes, you're being attacked by these 4 infantry regiments onto your hill. The Cav can come into the battle, but they won't start on the table.
Correct.
As far as the troops in Boston, you're going to have to roll like almost a 20. And if they do arrive, they're going to arrive exhausted on the battlefield.
No,
Absolutely destroy. And they're militia too. So,
no big deal. Alrighty, we're going to do a fighting withdrawal to the south.
okay.
And I'm going to bring my cav in behind them to hopefully peel off some of their units. Because it's 4 regiments versus 1. Do I see any cannons? Or is it just their infantry right now?
All you can see is the infantry right now.
Okay.
And all your men are pretty much silhouetted like up on the slope. So I'll say pretty much all of your units, except for the cav, of course, are going to be revealed at the beginning.
Then my unit in Hartford.
Yes.
They're able to maybe support. If I march them there. If I march them from Hartford,
Do you want to double time?
I'd like to double time, just real quick. Whenever they reach Hartford, any enemy forces?
No.
Okay, didn't expect any. I'd like to move that regiment of the Connecticut's to the Smithfield Providence Bridge. Also, I shot the mayor in Hartfield as we were passing through.
Hartford?
Hartford, yeah.
You shot the mayor?
I shot the mayor because he was
Oh, no.
he was British.
They're going to hate that.
I'm
They really like him, actually.
His Oh, wait, he actually was British? I was joking at first, but I'll shoot him.
Okay, that's fine.
We've hung him as a traitor.
The boy is now in charge. The stable boy is now.
The stable boy. Stable boy's with us.
Yeah.
That Connecticut regiment.
Alright, so you're going to try and double time him east of the bridge.
We are going to double time east of the bridge.
So the commander of that regiment tells us that he's going to try and get there.
The British plan of attack was the 1st Brigade, commanded by DeForge, to move to the rebel left, while Geske took the 2nd Brigade to the right. Geske ordered 2 special detachments made, an all-light infantry battalion on the right flank and an all-grenadier battalion on his left flank. This would hopefully keep the Americans from escaping, as the only other place they could go was the river. Simultaneously, it was hoped that the sloops dispatched from the Boston blockade would be sailing up the Providence River, and hopefully arrive behind the rebels to assist during the battle. The American plan was simple: survive. Schwanz would attempt a breakout to the north, placing the survival of his artillery above all. He would march in column in hopes of increasing his movement speed to exit the British trap as soon as possible. Schwanz was also praying for the arrival of 50 cavalry in the British rear to draw more units away to enable his escape. The morning of October 14th was an icy cold one, with frost still littering the ground. A fog also rolled in from the Providence River, concealing the American forces. This would also limit both sides' use of artillery. The Americans would begin the battle by exiting their poorly made earthworks and forming up to march to Worcester. To the slow beat of drums, the British line began their advance on the American positions.
Could you be a deer and move these guys 6 inches forward? Yeah.
All those?
Yeah. Be a lamb. Be a bonny lad.
A bonny lass? How the fuck?
You're a girl now?
I don't know what I'm saying. I'm
Gay?
yeah.
We call that. I want to make sure. Who I'm in range of. Cannon's gonna fire on that general staff. Okay?
Dear God. Do you know no honor?
No, I don't. You have 1 dice, right?
Yeah.
4 to 6. No, I got a 1. They did nothing.
It's a miss. I recommend that you roll close to yourself.
Random breaks in the fog have allowed American artillery to find the British line. Being the packed lines that they are, casualties were going to be high. However, they did not score a single hit.
Whenever we are commanded to storm the Palisades.
I'm gonna go.
Put both batteries at it, might as well.
Yeah, might as well.
It is worth mentioning that both sides have been rolling for their reinforcements. The British for their 3 sloops, and the Americans have been rolling for their cavalry to arrive.
Maybe you take measure back. Six inches right there. And fire a volley. Gotta get some casualties on their side, so.
Fire.
Alright.
Sorry. You're going uphill here, so that's 3. Remember, uphill's minus 3 inches. Is it? Yep. Okay. Well, these guys are just entering the hill then, so there's that. Yeah.
Finally, Geske has seen the white sails of the British Navy on the Providence River. Could this signal the end of the battle?
Go ahead.
Meanwhile, to the rear, 50 American cavalry have appeared. Unbeknownst to the Americans, the British had a reserve regiment of Hessians stationed in the woods, which now fire a relentless volley.
Roll one at a time, slow roll. 1, 4, a 5. 2 hit.
2 hits, 2 hits. As you unleash a volley from the wood mine into this cavalry. Alright.
So far during the battle, only the 1st Brigade has been in action. Yet even still, the only force holding back the Americans is a single light infantry battalion on the right. A light infantry battalion versus a line regiment? Who would come out on top? The light infantry would appear to come on top as they unleash 4 devastating volleys into the packed ranks of the Americans attempting to flee. In our rule system, glinting bayonets, in March column, any unit that is fired upon, the damage taken from the 1st rank will be taken at least 4 ranks back, so a single hit is very devastating.
That's also quite French.
Well, they're turning for battle.
It's the only option they got, really.
Seeing the disaster beginning to engulf his army, Schwanz has ordered 1 battalion to the right in order to keep a door open for the rest of the army to escape.
I'm thinking we do an about.
However, during the course of the battle, the British would learn some devastating news.
I'm gonna turn these guys around.
Hey, General Geske, you've received a dispatch just
From?
now. From Hartford.
My man?
You received a dispatch from that man's wife stating that that when the rebels entered the town, they hung him and strung him up as a traitor.
What?
Savages!
Oh, he's my homie!
Savages!
Dude, what?
Now we need to slaughter
He was killed.
them.
Kill the generals. He was hung?
He was hung in town.
By
Yeah.
a Connecticut regiment, so
How'd you
that
find
offsets.
So, here's a question. How'd they find out he was my pal?
Well, they walked in. Well, they sent a. They tried to get some intel from Hartford, and he sent back, "Damn the rebellion! God save the king."
Oh, hell yeah!
Oh, you know what?
Hey,
You know what?
he went out like a chick.
Seeing that they have pissed the British off, the Americans sent a white flag.
Your terms.
Okay. An American envoy approaches the British lines with a white flag.
Okay. We will surrender the 5 companies right there. The 4 healthy companies of cannons retreat north toward Worchester with the general staff, and the 2 cav also retreat north.
And our response, we had discussed that our friend and dear crown
From Hartford.
supporter from Hartford, the mayor, Blackness, yes,
Blackness.
he was hung.
Doesn't
He was hung.
So we
Actually, he was shot. If we want to
So
get down
hold
to
on.
we're incensed.
I don't think we
Well,
should-
he was hung, shot, then tar and feathered.
Oh no, they have to die then.
But that was from a Connecticut
So, Major
regiment.
DeForge, I would like to suggest that we don't treat, the Pennsylvanians as if they are the savage Connecticutans.
Well, we need to act savages in order to get this battle done. So, and I don't think the generals should leave either. I think we should kill the generals.
My son is here. He can't witness such savagery.
Then we'll take him in as a prisoner of war.
See,
My general has instructed
thing
me to
is-
tell you, if you wish to fight, you are losing a ship in this.
If we lose a
I think we
ship
should
at
take
the
that
expense of almost a regiment's worth of men, you make a good point, Major. So here's the thing: the cavalry can leave, but the cannon must stay in their place.
Well, looks like we're fighting.
Okay.
But at this point in the engagement, the British have seized the American earthworks and are moving from all directions. The Americans have formed a small defensive line to the south in order to prevent the complete destruction of their army that is still moving toward Worcester. They're hoping their cavalry will come in to save the day.
And then this one as well at that company. We'll do the
Throw some smoke over there. On.
the guy further out.
Yes, for my militia.
So we
Put them in the water so we can tally the couches later.
The Americans don't realize it yet, but the 1st Battalion is already devastated and the battle is already lost. Unbeknownst to them, a totally separate regiment of grenadiers is still on their way to the battlefield.
Right there.
He is suicidal. I don't
I got a 5.
All right, that's a hit.
Dang, how many do sloops get?
3.
Reconsider our terms, I implore you, before any more young American colonials have to die.
The battle has gotten desperate by this point, as both sides fire point blank at one another, causing substantial losses. The Royal Navy fires inflating round shot into the panicking American lines.
Here's 3 dice.
So for the cannons, I'll say you're gonna hit the infantry here first before you get those.
Okay. So we'll take out this infantry.
Fire. Hit. Destroyed.
Now, are they flanked?
I mean, they're routing, so
Okay.
they're already routing.
All 3 of
You gotta move
these.
them now or after you get some shooting.
All 3 of these are going to
After you
shoot
finish shooting.
at this company right here. So we'll start with the.
Don't you care to just
Nope.
let us leave?
Nope.
You go your
As
way.
I said, you can keep. Just reek that unit. Is what you should do. Get them out of here.
And I'm going to use these guys to fire again at this unit. 4. Hit it. I'm going to use this unit to fire at these units.
Okay.
6. This is dead.
Yeah, that's tragic for them.
Huzzah.
I have.
Yeah, let's put the smoke up real quick so I can take a picture.
Schwantz would double time the remainder of his army back to Hadley to reconjoin with his Connecticut regiment stationed there. The British, on the other hand, seeing that the Americans were withdrawing west, decided to continue with their converged force to Boston and to surround the fort, guarding it. This move by the British could seal the fate of the entire New England campaign. We hope you enjoyed our episode on the Bayonets of 76 campaign. If you have any ideas on how our generals could wage the war in New England, send them a dispatch, post haste. The outcome of the war is in your hands.